Thank you, Lasca and Corla, and thank you, Minister, for coming in this morning. I certainly know that you have a very busy portfolio, and this certainly isn't your domain. But like my colleagues before me, I will absolutely take up the offer to meet Minister Donovan. Enniscorthy Flood Defence Scheme is a project which has been kicked down the road far too many times in the last 10 to 15 years. The minutes of a county council meeting in June 2012 outlined the plans put forward by the OPW. Two current members of this House were present at that meeting, Minister Brown and Deputy Mythen, and at that meeting the representative from the Office of Public Works noted the following points. Enniscorthy has major tidal issues. The OPW can now estimate the flood at Scarwalsh. Climate change would affect any flooding in the town. The removal of the Seamus Rafter Bridge and a new bridge constructed further downstream. The introduction of glass walls. And that would mean there would be a €66 million cost to the town if no scheme was put in place, but the scheme would be in the region of 25 to 40 million. But since then there have been many false dawns, Minister, and every time the river bursts its banks we hear the issue raised again and again, yet we still have no action. And Enniscorthy has no flood defence. The only constants on the topic are local councillors, independent councillors, Jack Sir Owens and Councillor John O'Rourke, of whom they have both asked me to raise this issue. And anyone familiar with the town will know that the problems are associated with flooding, that there are many businesses and homes situated in places that are prone to flooding, and should the River Slaney burst its banks, there's obvious consequences on the owners from a general damage and disruptive point of view, but also from an insurance point of view. And for their peace of mind, they probably most now can't get insurance on their properties. And the experts looking at all aspects of this project have decided that a glass wall system, the removal of the new bridge, deepening and widening of the river, and the general improvement of the aesthetics of the quayside is the best plan. What we need to see now is the action. And the video overview of the plan is very, very impressive, I must say, and will transform the quayside in Enniscorthy. But since that meeting in June 2012, there has been huge, significant flooding in the town, particularly in 2015, and there have been other minor incidents since, but causing significant damage. A progress report was published not less than a month ago on November 5th, in which case it says that the project has been submitted for review since April of 2021. The issue with that is we have no word on who is reviewing it, how long the review will take. And I mean, at the end of the day, there are 236 properties affected without this flood defence. 236. It's a significant issue. Today in Enniscorthy, over 12,000 people are affected by a boil water notice. You know, things are in disarray, Minister, and it has gone on far, far too long. We were promised an answer by the end of 2021. We are 3 weeks from the end of 2021. So I have really one question, that is, when will the review of the scheme be completed, and when will the scheme be signed off on to go to construction? Thank you.
Very much, Deputy, for raising this really important issue. And I suppose, hopefully, Enniscorthy didn't flood in the last day or two with Storm Barra, but obviously it's a situation that we have become aware of far too often, especially, I suppose, in relation to all the climate challenges we have. So thank you, Deputy, for your question in relation to the much-needed Enniscorthy flood relief scheme. The Enniscorthy River Slaney Flood Defence Scheme is being proposed by Wexford County Council on behalf of the Office of Public Works as a scheme under the Arterial Drainage Acts 45 and 1995. This is a significant scheme within the Office of Public Works' €1.3 billion flood relief investment programme nationally as part of the National Development Plan 2018 to 2030, from which the relevant funding for the Enniscorthy scheme will be made available. On completion, the scheme will protect 236 properties in the town, as you have said. The proposed scheme includes river channel widening, river deepening, bridge relocation and the construction of extensive glass panel flood walls through the town. The estimated total project budget, which will be approximately €51 million, when other costs such as fees, site investigation works, environmental mitigation, VAT, property landowner compensation and future maintenance costs are taken into consideration. The scheme is going through the confirmation process under the Arterial Drainage Acts, following submission to the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform for assessment in mid-2020. It is important to note that under Section 7E of the Arterial Drainage Act Regulations 2019, the Minister can A, make an order confirming the scheme, B, refuse to confirm the scheme, or C, refer the scheme back to the Commissioners for revision in specified respects. There is a statutory obligation incumbent upon the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform to ensure that all aspects of complex legal and environmental compliance issues are satisfactorily resolved before a decision can be made in relation to the Enniscorthy scheme on the basis of the options available to them. The Department of Public Expenditure and Reform is currently awaiting finalised reports and recommendations from the expert environmental consultants in relation to this matter before making their determination. And a decision in relation to the Enniscorthy flood relief scheme, as per the three options available to him, will be made at the earliest possible opportunity. Minister, Deputy, can I just say, in relation to your question, subject to ministerial confirmation, it is hoped that construction will commence in 2022 with an estimated construction period in excess of 3 years. Is the funding secured is another question. The OPW have made provision for the full scheme costs in their multi-annual budget projections and remain committed to progression of the project. In relation to the land acquisition, the vast majority of works will be completed on lands owned by Wexford County Council. Other landowners impacted by the scheme have been consulted and are fully aware of access or purchase elements which may affect their properties. There are no major obstacles expected in this regard.
Deputy Murphy. Thank you, Lascian Corla, and thank you, Minister. Again, as I appreciate most of what you have told me, I already know. The people already know. The question they're asking is, why is it taking so long? And I mean, the reality is there are 236 properties affected. All of the stakeholders that were engaged in discussion, Irish Rail, property owners, they're all aware, they're all in agreement, and they're all ready to sign legal agreements post confirmation that this project is going ahead. So as far as I can see, Minister, there seems to be only one department delaying this whole project, because nothing has been asked for since April of 2021. Every council meeting I attend at Enniscorthy district level, it comes up. The independent councillors bring it up to be told by the party councillors. There's nothing to ask for. There's nothing to see here. But yet, since April, there has been no level of what you would say constructive engagement to move this project along. And I think, you yourself said, we hope to go to construction in 2022. How is that even possible or conceivable at this point when we don't know if it's going to be signed off on? We don't know if the funds are in place. Yes, they're accounted for by the OPW. And you can see in 12 years, the costs have risen to 51 million. And the longer this project is delayed, and you appreciate this, Minister, we all know now that the longer we leave things, we need to do another review. More public money spent, more taxpayers' money wasted. Each time we delay, another environmental study has to be carried out. So I'd ask you, on behalf of the people of Enniscorthy, to take back to the Minister to have this signed off by December of 2021, or to give a very serious clarification as to why that isn't going to happen. Thank you, Lascian Corla. Thank you, Minister.
And I understand how really important this is, because I'm seeing here, Enniscorthy has a long history of flooding, and following the extreme flood event which occurred in 2000, the Office of Public Works, in conjunction with Wexford County Council, undertook a study of the flooding problem in the town. So, it's not that it's a unique situation. And I suppose, coming from Waterford, and you'll be well familiar with the glass wall defences we have on the quay and the difference that has made. It's unbelievable. I can remember the quay flooding. I can remember the sandbags at the shops. And since those flood defences have gone in place, it does make a massive difference. If the Minister for Power confirms the scheme, the tender for the new bridge construction will be advanced first. You obviously know that. Following contractor appointment, the bridge works will be the first major element commenced, with flood defence works along the river commencing thereafter and running in parallel. Enabling works involving service diversions are expected to commence in the coming months. And if I could just turn to your query in the original question on the foreshore licence. I have been advised that the foreshore consent application process is being managed by the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage. The public consultation process is complete and the foreshore consent document for assessment. The documentation is currently being assessed by independent environmental consultants. Finally, I would like to acknowledge the huge work that the Office of Public Works, Wexford County Council and their consultants have put into the development of this important scheme, and I hope that we will see the progression of flood defence works in Enniscorthy at the earliest possible opportunity. And Deputy, I will bring your thoughts and your concerns back to the Minister, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Minister.